my aviation viewers, I have not forgotten about you. I have been trying to balance out my music videos and my aviation videos. Uh, in the near future, I will be posting about videos about the development of forces on airfoils on the aircraft. Those forces that excuse me, those forces that act on the plane in flight, such as lift, weight, thrust, and drag. I just mentioned airfoil. So first we need to know, you might want to know what an airfoil is. I'm gonna spell it. I'm gonna spell it out so you know you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna spell it. It's like A as in alpha, I as in India, R as in Romeo, F as in Fox, O as in Oscar, and we have I as in India, and L as in Lima. That's airfoil. Airfoil. Airfoil is an airfoil is a vertical splice of the wing of the aircraft. Let me give you an example. My fans and friends, I'm talking about something not exactly at all, because I'm not good in sketching, but please take a look at this. I hope you can see it. You can see the shape. It's a little curved. All right, so yeah, okay. That's an example of an airfoil on the wing of an aircraft. So the airfoil, just like I just showed you, is a vertical splice of a wing. It can also be called as an airfoil section of the wing. If I know you just looked at it, so if you really get a good look at it, you can see that it is not. It is, you know, it is curved. Okay. It is not symmetrical, even though there are symmetrical airfoils. And in a symmetrical airfoil, the upper surface and the lower surface, they have the same shape. Okay, that is symmetrical airfoil. But in this case, this airfoil is curved. There's a camber line into it. So Imagine you have a slice of you have a pizza, and your pizza is composed of slices, but your pizza is is round. Imagine a pizza that has a wing shape, the wing of an aircraft shape, and you have slices. Okay, so each slice of the pizza, if you consider the metaphor I just gave you, it's each slice of the pizza is considered a foil. So in the case of the wing is an airfoil. So if you now your pizza, I'm really talking to my friends and friends. Your pizza is not round anymore. It has the shape of an aircraft wing. So all the slices, each slice, okay, is an airfoil of the wing. Okay, that's a metaphor. That's a metaphor I just gave you. You know. So um, I hope you understand the analogy I'm giving you. So for you to understand that an airfoil is a vertical splice of an aircraft wing. Okay, and it is not, it is curved. Okay, and if you really take good if you really took a good look at the sketch I just showed you, which is not perfect, you can see that the that airfoil. Remember, this is just a section of the wing. Okay, there's an airfoil section. The airfoil has an upper surface. He has a lower surface, and he has a leading edge, and he have a trailing edge. My friends and friends, the leading edge mean the front part of the airfoil, and the trailing edge mean the back part of the airfoil. In aviation, we call leading edge the front part of the airfoil, and the back part, the aft part, is the trailing edge. Okay, so I can see, excuse me, I can see the upper surface, the lower surface, and the leading edge and the trailing edge, and I see a line drawn from the leading edge to the trailing edge of the airfoil. That line is called a chord line. That's a chord line of the airfoil. And I also see a dotted line. A dotted line is called, it's a curved dotted line from the leading edge to the trailing edge of the airfoil. That's a camber line. Okay, the camber line is very important in the airfoil. So, just like I just told you, my friends and fans, the wing of the aircraft is made of airfoils. Okay, airfoils sections. Okay, the wing is not just like a big giant long piece. that is installed on the fuselage. The upper surface, which is called the upper skin, which is attached to the airfoils. If you want, you can call them ribs. We have ribs in our body, and also we got the lower surface, which is also attached to the airfoils, which you can also call wings. As a matter of fact, you got wherever an airfoil is located on the wing, I think you can just call that section a station, whatever. If you want to just use numbers, just hypothetical numbers, you can say station 1, station 2, station 3. In a station, there's an airfoil upon which the skins, the upper surface, upper skin, and the lower surface, lower skin are attached. And of course, if you add when those skins are attached to the airfoil, what's going to happen? They're going to take the shape. They're going to take the shape of the airfoil. So the thing is, those airfoils that I'm telling you about, those are the parts of the wing that the airflow really interacts with in order to lift the aircraft, in order for the aircraft to take off. And of course, the shape of an airfoil is very important. Okay, very important to determine the characteristics of the airfoil. Okay, so that shape, talking about the airfoil shape, is very important in determining the characteristics of the airfoil. Okay, so the one thing that the air, the air loads, in that action creates lift. Okay, so this is something we're gonna study deeper in my future video. As a matter of fact, like I just told you, we're gonna talk about in my future videos, in my near futures video, we're gonna talk about the forces. Lift, that will be one which is very, very important. So what I'm doing now, I did not want just to start talking about those forces and then you don't even know what an airfoil is. So that's what because those forces, they have something to do with their actions on the airfoils really influence how the aircraft behave in flight. So that's why I wanted to use my friends and friends. I wanted to let you know what an airfoil is. Okay, so an airfoil, like I told you, is a splice section of the wing. As a matter of fact, between those airfoils, you can call them ribs if you want. In the wing, there are fuel tanks. There are fuel tanks. I hope you know that, my friends and friends. You got the fuel tanks on an aircraft, especially on a jet. They are in the fuel tanks are in the wing. So the fuel that the fuel that the aircraft uses, the fuel is located in the wings, in both wings. Okay, so the fuels are in fuel tanks separated by those airfoils I'm talking about. Okay, so but those and this is just to give you to give you an overview what an airfoil is, and what it does. And I'm going to spell it again just to make sure I got it right. Airfoil, because in aviation, when we spell out a word, we try to use we have some terminology that we base our spellings on, so not to confuse both parties in the conversation, because there's no room for error in aviation, especially when it comes to maintenance, when it comes to flying. So when we spell a word, we want to make sure it, both excuse me, both parties understand exactly what we're talking about. Okay, so I'm going to spell it again. Airfoil. A as in alpha, I as in India, R as in Romeo, F as in Fox, O as in Oscar, I as in India, and L as in Lima. Airfoil. So the physical description of the airfoil I just told you. We have the chord line. The chord line, which is drawn from the leading edge to the trailing edge, and we also have the chord. What is the chord? We have the chord line, and we have the chord. The chord is actually the length of the chord line. Okay, the length of the chord line, and any measurement that is taken on the airfoil is in relation to the chord line. Okay, if you hear some noise out there, somebody talking, I apologize. So we're gonna move on. Yeah, we just so the chord line in the airfoil is the base for any measurement that is taken on the airfoil. In the sketch I showed you, there was a dotted curved line. This line is called the camber line. Camber line. Okay, camber. Yeah, curve. It's a curve line. Okay. So that line, it is called mean camber line. Okay. Actually, that line is drawn halfway. Okay, between the lower and lower surface of the airfoil. Okay, halfway. This is the camber line. So you got the airfoil, and then right in the middle of the airfoil, you know, halfway from the upper surface of the airfoil and the lower surface of the airfoil, you have the camber line. It's a curved line. Okay, and this line. This line is very important in determining the characteristics of the airfoil. That's the mean camber line. Or we also have something called the maximum camber line the maximum camber line. The maximum camber line is a line measured from the mean camber line to the chord line. That's the maximum camber line. Okay, so imagine, just remember, try to remember the sketch I just showed you earlier, and you have the mean camber line, which is a dotted line, which is drawn from the leading edge to the trailing edge, right halfway from the upper surface and the lower surface. And then if you draw a line vertically from the camber line to the chord line, that's the maximum camber line. And the location of the maximum camber line is also very important to determine the characteristics of the airfoil. Let me repeat that: the position of the camber line, of the maximum camber line, is very important in determining the characteristics of the airfoil. Okay, maximum camber line. We also have something called the maximum thickness of the airfoil. Okay, how do you measure that? The maximum thickness of the airfoil is the distance from the upper surface of the airfoil to the lower surface of the airfoil. Maximum thickness. Okay, and the maximum thickness, just like the maximum camber line, is very crucial in determining the characteristics of an airfoil. Something to keep in mind. And I know it's a little bit complicated for my fans and friends, but I also have friends that are going to school. They are students. I know that they are learning, especially if they're going to aviation schools, or if they're learning to be pilots, and they're studying flight. They are studying flight theory. This conversation about airfoil is very important to them, because I have friends that are working in aviation. Maybe there's something that they probably need to know. Maybe something that maybe they can kind of refresh their knowledge on the subject. So just like I said, that the maximum thickness and the maximum camber line. Those are very important in determining the characteristics of the airfoil. As a matter of fact, the position of those two variables can change the characteristics of the airfoil, not dramatically, but immensely, because there's something in the airfoil called minimum pressure. And then one thing that is important for us to know, because we're talking about minimum pressure on an airfoil, so that immediately that fact makes us think about subsonic airplanes and supersonic airplanes, because the airfoils on a subsonic airplane is not the same as an airfoil in a supersonic aircraft, because the minimum pressure, the location of the minimum pressure in the airfoil has a lot to do with that difference between supersonic and subsonic aircraft. Okay, and if you well, something that is very important on an airfoil as well is the radius of the leading edge, because the leading edge can be thick. Okay, can be thick. It also can be slim. So when the leading edge is thick, that means you have a big radius in the leading edge. If it is small, I mean you have a small radius in the leading edge. So you can what you can do, you can associate the big radius, okay, big leading edge. You can associate that characteristic with subsonic aircraft, and thereby it's a small radius with a small leading edge. Then you can associate that characteristic with supersonic aircraft. When you have, if you move the maximum thickness or the maximum camber line, you move those two, either one or both, from the forward position where they are somewhat thick, and you move them back. Okay, that will change. That will also move the minimum pressure point. And then this is when supersonic characteristics come into play. Okay, so the minimum pressure point, okay, in an airfoil has a lot to do with an aircraft being subsonic aircraft or supersonic aircraft. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about airfoil. today because I did not want to start talking about the development of forces on airfoils, and then my friends and fans will not even know what an airfoil is. I'm pretty sure some of them know, but for those who don't know, I just wanted to make sure before I start talking about the effect of forces on the airfoils of the wing of an aircraft. I needed to let you know, my friends and fans, what an airfoil is, and I hope you understand what an airfoil is. If you don't remember, go back to the analogy I gave you. Okay, using pizza, because I told you an airfoil can also be called an airfoil section, which is a vertical slice of the wing. And when we talk about airfoil section of the wing, we forget the horizontal plane of the wing, or any special effects that a wing can have, like I would say sweep back, taper, and talking about wash out, wash in, wash out, wash in. All the special effects that sometimes wings do on an aircraft. When we talk about airfoils, we ignore all those elements, all those characteristics. So I hope you understand what an airfoil is. Just like your pizza is a slice of the wing. Okay, so that means the wing has several slices. The wing has several airfoils upon which the upper skin, the upper surface, and the lower surface are attached. So that's it for now. Next time I will be talking about the development of forces on airfoils. The development of forces on airfoils. In the meantime, stay safe. See you later.